Okay. Good afternoon. I'll call the Planning Commission meeting to order. Daisy, can you confirm that the Kansas Open Meeting Act required notice has been properly provided?
Yes, I can confirm the packet was posted and the required notice was provided.
Okay, thank you, Daisy. Roll call, please.
Go ahead with roll call. Commissioner Sydow? Here. Commissioner Vancouver?
Here.
Commissioner Ault?
Here.
Commissioner Farber?
Here.
Commissioner Rogers?
Here.
Commissioner Paget?
Here.
Commissioner Mike Sell?
Here.
Chair Waters?
Here.
And Student Member Hanson? Okay, so we have full attendance, and we also have our student representative, Mr. Hanson, with us, and that will allow us to proceed with today's meeting agenda.
Okay, thank you, Dean. I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes, or if there's corrections, please state those as well.
I make a motion we approve the minutes as presented.
Okay. It has been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of the December 17th, 2024 meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, I see there is no new business, so we will move into administrative items, the presentation of the 24 annual report.
So we have no outside applications for you this afternoon, but each January, the City Commission that appoints all the members to the city's various advisory boards asks that each of the boards that they have created and appointed present to them a report of their activities from the previous year. They're most interested in how many times they met, that the members were engaged and actively attending and participating. So the report is broken down into 3 exhibits. One is kind of a summary of accomplishments and meeting and content of those meetings. The second part, Exhibit B, is a summary of our record of board member attendance, and the City Commission is interested that its appointed members are attending and participating in meetings. And then the last, Exhibit C, is just a record of who is appointed and for where they're sit in terms of their terms and their expiration. So just a couple of the highlights. We had 35 different applications that were brought before the Planning Commission in 2024. And in Exhibit A, we've broken them down into what types of applications came before the board in 2024, and we provided a little bit of a summary, a reminder of some of the larger cases that were considered. In terms of member information, we had a little bit of a wrinkle where Mr. Mike Sell, the Planning Commission consists of 9 members, 7 of which are supposed to reside in the city and 2 that would reside outside but less than 3 miles outside the city limits. And as we understand it, Mr. Mike Sell is moving from outside to inside the city limits, and we had a vacancy in that spot. So now that spot is filled, and now we have our vacancies for an outside the city member. So that was a smooth transition, and we've provided a few goals that we've identified. One thing we wanted to call your attention to is and is pretty important, is that we are due for, we're 15 years out, we're due for a new or updated citywide comprehensive plan, and the Planning Commission is the primary body involved with that. And so as the request for proposal for what we want to see in a new plan And then this time, we're promised, or there's money, there's never been money set aside before for a full zoning code update, but we've done several comprehensive plans where the follow-up was supposed to be some updated development codes, and so we're still using our base 1977 zoning ordinance, which is in some ways a little out of date. So the one thing I wanted to call your attention to under zoning administration goals is for the Planning Commission to will be working with staff to develop a request for proposals or outlines for a comprehensive plan and an overall zoning code update. So the Planning Commission will be actively involved in both of those things. And then the other thing that's on the front burner is a number of communities throughout Kansas. Most recently, I believe Topeka and Hayes have developed what they call common consumption areas in their downtown areas, and basically it is an area with defined boundaries, and then within that area, patrons can go into drinking establishments and carry out beverages and move freely around the downtown area on sidewalks or take them to a plaza, something like that. And so we'll be working to define that area and then to define the ground rules for how that would be established. But that's something that we want to get in place before spring hits in 2025. So we'll have some updates for you on that. Other than that, we would be open to any questions, and if you have questions or debates about your attendance, then I'd say take that up with Daisy. She's the keeper of attendance, and so if you want to challenge one of the numbers there, then take that up with Daisy. But other than that, we'd be open to any questions you had, and it's always good to go back and reflect back on the previous year and say, oh yeah, I remember we did that.
So Dean, the comprehensive plan, would it include like public meetings and stuff like we did before?
Yes, very, very much like 2010, where there'd be a number of committees, public forums, those types of things. But the important part is to get the what we call the RFP, or request for proposals, is for the people in the community to set the outlines of what they want to see it include or not include. And it's really important to get it right up front so that you get the right people submitting proposals for it.
Right.
And so the Planning Commission will be involved with that, along with identifying outdated and hot button aspects of the zoning ordinance. I mean, we've done a number of things over the year. I think we've been at the front of the curve on things like electronic message center signs and things like that, and keeping our code up to date, floodplain regulations, things like that. But we haven't like just done a complete overhaul of. If you look at some of the things in our industrial district zoning, we permit uses in there that simply don't exist anymore, and it's completely outdated in terms of some of the businesses that no longer even exist. So that's the type of thing that needs to be looked at. In 2014, when people were first opening vape shops, nobody had any idea what vape shops even were. So those are the types of things that your zoning ordinance has to be ready for. But the appropriate thing would be just to review that, and then if everybody's comfortable with what it represents in terms of your body of work, then a motion to send this to the city commission as your report of 2024 activities would be appropriate.
Madam Chair, I'd make a motion that we send this report of our activities to the city commission. Second.
It's been moved and seconded to send our 2024 report to the city commission. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Just
All right, staff, is there any other items to discuss?
we will have meetings on February 4th and February 18th. And for what we have filed for the 18th, some of you are familiar with the United Methodist Church of the Cross. It's over on Rush Street by Broadway and Cloud. And that has been purchased by Kansas Wesleyan University. And as part of that property, there were 2 houses that the church owned, and those are not part of the transaction, and so we're working on a replat over there to create 3 lots, 2 for the houses and 1 for the church facility itself. So it's not particularly complex, but it's just to get everything right and create separate lots for all the uses so they can be sold independently if needed. That would be on for the 18th. On the 4th, we're going to look at introducing you to phase 2 of the Salina Destination Project out there by Menards. So we'll be presenting what they plan to do in phase 2.
Come a long way since we broke ground out there, huh?
Yes. And there's still a ways to go to the south along Virginia Drive, but that project, phase 2, will involve extending Virginia Drive farther south and a number of things that we'll try to outline for you on the 4th.
Okay. All right, if there's nothing, Dustin, is there anyone online?
We do not have anyone from the public online or in the room.
Okay, thank you. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.